Creatual is a creative ritual, two words merged, and a concept for openings, beginnings, transformations, change, and closings. This is something we have in our life everywhere and always. And for rites of passage, for the personal moments in life where we have openings of birth and connections, weddings and funerals. Companies also have moments of change, of transformation, closings. And I started doing this a long time ago in my private life, and at some point I thought it needs a name, and I thought this is beautiful. Creative rituals, creatuals. A creature has to be round, it has to make sense, it has a story, it comes from somewhere and it goes somewhere, but it transforms within itself. It's not a linear story. We tend in this world to think very linear, where are we going, where are we coming from. A creature is a reflection of yourself. And I teach this also, and I teach people to see in objects or daily things they do, to look in a different way, to give it a new meaning, to play with it, to try to reflect with it. And there's so many answers. There's so much to discover in things we don't see anymore today. And that's what has become my profession. And not just in family and friends, but now I'm doing it also in companies and actually communal for very big groups of people. In the commercial world where I used to work, in London, in New York, I understood that there was something missing. Working in these very corporate environments, I always had the feeling it's about targets, about money, it's about making the best identity or brand and a lot of competition. And at some point I thought something very important is missing, and that's meaning, and that's actually reflection and understanding where we really are going, and not this target and this. And it just popped up in my mind more and more, creating openings or events or special moments. First in my own teams and environments. It started also in my own family. And at some point I thought, this works. This is very interesting. If you can design a recipe for a good identity, you can also design a recipe for a good event or a beautiful experience. And that's how it started. About 10 years ago, I stopped being a graphic designer and I opened a studio in Amsterdam. And I actually called some of my old clients and said, is there anything to open? Is there anything that you'd like to launch? Or can we talk about this new product? And I started also very soon giving workshops in which I would bring the whole team together. We did team building sessions for companies to give an example. Unilever, they not so long ago wanted to launch the purpose. This was the Unilever, Benelux and Holland. And they worked with a company to try to search for their purpose. And a lot of multinationals are searching for what's next, what are we really about? We're living in a time where we have to start looking inside instead of just outside, making targets. And they asked me to launch this purpose. So what I proposed to them was, Unilever is created started with margarine and with soap. So I thought, let's work with soap. Let's give them all a piece of soap. These were like 70 marketing managers. And I asked them to scratch their own purpose, their own intention into the soap. And all these pieces of cake or soap were brought into one big pan and they melted. and we had a big mold on a table, and we poured in the soap with all the scratched intentions from all the people to a big block, a white canvas of soap. And so when it gets cold, it immediately becomes hard, and we cut it into blocks, and we actually gave people a piece of soap to wash their hands and to wrap it nicely and to take it home and to share in teams what they have been writing into the soap. And then they feel ownership, and hierarchy often falls away because everyone's equal in this process. And this was a very successful way of bringing the people together, bringing the people to talk and to open up to each other and to share this purpose. I'm working together with a business partner now, with Ivan Gabor, and we're already 2 years together. And with him, we're really trying to define what is the business model and what is Creatuals, and what do we share and what do we sort of close off. I like to teach people a little bit what this is about and how they can get there. I call it the Creatual Zone. It's an idea of bringing people into this zone. Our new identity is also about this, that you get the feeling of possibilities and how this could work. And we are designing all kinds of packages and online experiences and Creatual solutions or recipes that people can tap into, that they can buy or they can subscribe to be in the zone and to learn more about it. So this is what we're working on. After one Creatual workshop of 3 hours, you're not a Creatual designer. This doesn't work that way. But it sort of gives you the feeling of how creative you actually are. I believe everyone is creative. It just needs a few steps of understanding. It's a bit scary to go there in this zone, but it's super cool because it's different, and you talk in symbols, you look at something that you know exactly what it is, and after this moment of being in this zone, you actually see many different significance for this thing. So it's about teaching people to look and to look again, to listen again. I, first of all, gave a lecture at some point, and then they were very interested to hear more and to actually learn about it. And then they asked me to give my workshop, which is create your own Creatual, design your own Creatual. And I have developed a method in which I bring 12 to 20 people at the same time live in groups through a method. First, where they in groups decide where the Creatual should be about, or what issue they want to tackle, what story. And then it's through questionnaire, through objects that you choose. I bring them into the world of imagination, into the world of all possibilities, and I push them into the deep, and then I teach them how to swim to the other side. And if they can get out, they are so happy because they can do it. And most people can actually design a Creatual of their own. And it's not that I want to give this away, but I would like people to understand that if they know the steps, they can actually do this in their own lives. And they can understand much better how to climb over the wall or climb over this the problem in a creative way. And that's what I think the power of Creatuals is about, that you can find solutions by doing it. I didn't believe it could work because I need to see people in the eyes, I need to see the emotion, and I'm very good at at deciding certain things in the moment, but I always thought it was because of the air that moves between us and the space. But it worked on the screen, and it's still working, and I'm designing more experiences online now for specific questions and specific target groups. So I'm less skeptical about it. I think it's actually very interesting where we're going, but both will be important to keep doing.